Hello. Let's get started using the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. What message wants to come through for the collective, please, Spirit? Loving messages and guidance for the collective, please. Shaman, trust in higher forces. And what is... All right, there we go. Clearing the throat. Okay, shaman, trust in higher forces. Indeed, that makes me think of all the support that you're receiving at this time, not only from your guardian angels, ancestors, passed on loved ones, but cosmic beings, your galactic family. So you may resonate with being a star seed, for example, that you know that you're from the stars. You're a child of the cosmos. You're not just a third dimensional being. Okay, so that makes me think of multi-dimensionality and interdimensional communication, receiving messages and guidance from star guides, from other dimensions, as your frequency rises, as your consciousness continues to expand. Okay, and you are a wise soul. Look at this owl. Hard not to notice the owl. Higher wisdom and enlightened perspective. Now I'm thinking of the Hanged Man in the Tarot. Okay, feathers. I'm also thinking dream catcher. Your dreams, your dream state may be significant. You may be receiving messages, having dreams with messages of guidance for you. Okay, let's read about the shaman. Trust in higher forces. That also makes me think, well, trust in the higher plan. Trust that there is a higher divine plan. Okay. For your life, you are here for a reason, a very significant reason. Shaman is on page 66. Okay. You may be seeing double sixes. Trust in your angels, guides, and ancestors. If you have given your power away, claim it back. All right. Inspired by the Sami, the indigenous peoples of northern Norway, Sweden, and Finland, this card represents those people who have a connection to Earth and the hidden realms. Many shamans believed that when there was illness or disease, it was because a person's power had been left behind somewhere, or a negative pattern had installed itself in them. In trance, they would travel to the underworld to recall this power and remove the, quote, demon. If this card comes to you, it's because you need to do some release work with lower energies or with your lack of trust in the spiritual energies that are guiding you. So trust is very significant here, the energy of trust. The shaman will aid you in your quest. Okay, that makes me think of vision quest, spiritual quest, the hero's journey. Extended message. There are spiritual allies working in your favor, and their miracles will unfold much more easily when you move into a state of trust. There's that word again, trust. So call back your power and stop allowing external forces to divert you from the miracles you deserve. So potentially you may be getting distracted, or your ego, your 3D conditioned mind may be trying to distract you. Hand over all of your concerns to your spiritual allies. When you do so, you allow them to send you intuitive guidance and messages that will allow you to correct the situation and come out on top. The shaman card also shows that you have shamanic potential to move between the realms and connect with your guides in an extremely personal way. Interesting. So that makes me think of astral traveling. Okay, yep. So heightened spiritual abilities, the awakening of even more spiritual gifts. Okay, shall we get one more? Okay, we have two more. We have the High Priestess, and we already talked about your spiritual abilities. High Priestess, harness mystic power. Okay, ancient Egypt may resonate with you. Also, this is, I believe, the star tetrahedron. You may be a cat lover, a pet parent. This makes me think of Isis for some reason. Okay, oh, and Bastet, seeing the black cat. So cats may be significant. Okay, also peacocks may be significant for someone. I'm noticing the peacock feather here. This is the card reading Sage. Yes. Be devoted and committed. All right, that makes me think. Be devoted and committed to yourself, to your evolution. For your soul is here to expand. So we have Sage, Shaman, High Priestess, highly mystical, extremely wise, gifted in the healing arts, very likely. Okay. Let's read about the High Priestess. Page 45. Okay, the message, the brief message first. Align with the light and focus on all things positive. The High Priestess is the physical embodiment of the divine feminine, the goddess in human form. She has had many names through time and space, but her essence has remained similar, fierce, powerful, and disciplined. In many traditions, particularly pre-Christian, the High Priestess was in charge of spiritual and religious orders and was the voice of authority and guidance from the gods. The voice of authority. Okay, that makes me think that you have a powerful throat chakra. If you don't feel that that is the case at this time, your throat chakra is developing. The High Priestess in this deck is the consort and partner of the High Priest. If you look at them together, you will see they mirror each other's energy. Inspired by the Egyptian goddess Isis, there you go, we mentioned Isis. Inspired by the Egyptian goddess Isis, she holds a sistrum, a musical instrument, in her left hand, and an ankh, the Egyptian symbol of eternal life, in her right hand. She is joined by a black cat representing the Egyptian goddess Bast, who protects her from lower energies, and she stands strong in her glory and power. Stand strong. Okay, that makes me think of the Seven of Wands. Extended message. You are a mystic with the capacity to connect with energies that go beyond the human senses. There you go. More allusions to your spiritual gifts and abilities. You are a mystic with the capacity to connect with energies that go beyond the human senses. Within you is a force of magic that is directed by your will. There is an opportunity for you to rise up at this time, but it requires dedication and discipline. And interesting, look at that. The card that came out with the High Priestess card was the Sage card, and it says, be devoted and committed. Okay. Let me read that again. There is an opportunity for you to rise up at this time, but it requires dedication and discipline. You are being guided to look at what you are working on or at the situation before you and determine where your priorities lie. If you are unable to figure that out, you must use your intuition and discernment to focus on what will bring you closer to your goal and the happiness of everyone involved. When this card arrives, it's also important for you to check in with your intuition, as it will give you guidance that will be important for your growth. And that makes me look at the Shaman card, trust in higher forces, and the message that we received in the guidebook, that your ancestors, angels, they are with you. And I also mentioned star beings as well. You have a whole legion of support in the unseen or, quote, hidden realms. And you know this because you are highly intuitive. Okay. Okay, sage. That also makes me think of, smudging. You may have sage in your home. Maybe you use Palo Santo to sage your home, cleanse the energy in your home, or just as a sacred practice. This may be one of the ways that you commune with the divine, and it's part of the process of your dedication to your spiritual evolution and growth. Okay, so I'm noticing, the owl's wings here, and then this image here looks like a wing. So wings, angel wings makes me think. So definitely more confirmation that you have so much support in the spiritual realm. Okay, and I mentioned the star tetrahedron, so sacred geometry may be significant for you. Okay, where shall we go, Spirit? Okay, let's go to my homemade deck. Okay, I'm curious to look up mystic, okay? Nope. The mystic spiritual meaning centers on the pursuit of inner wisdom, okay? We saw sage. Direct communion with the divine, indeed, and the transformative experience of unity with ultimate reality. Core essence of mysticism. Mysticism is a spiritual path that emphasizes direct personal experience of the divine or ultimate reality, rather than relying solely on external rituals, doctrines, or intellectual understanding. So beyond the physical senses, as we read in the guidebook. Mystics are individuals who cultivate intuition, indeed, high priestess, and inner wisdom, sage, enabling them to perceive beyond the physical world and access deeper truths that lie beneath ordinary reality. And that was touched on when we were reading about the shaman. This inner knowing guides them through spiritual journeys. Make me think of the spiritual quest, vision quest, hero's journey, helping discern truth from illusion and illuminating paths for others. That word discern is standing out to me, and I think we read about discernment. Was it when we were reading about the high priestess? Okay, spiritual significance. The spiritual meaning of a mystic involves a profound connection with the divine, often described as a sense of unity, wholeness, and oneness with all existence. That makes me think of 5D consciousness. Mystical experiences are transformative. Okay, potentially you may have already had mystical experiences, or that may be part of something that you will be experiencing during this incarnation. Mystical experiences. Mystical experiences are transformative, fostering love, peace, and compassion, and often lead to a deeper understanding of the universe and one's place within it. This also makes me think of potentially using, I don't know too much about this, but I'm like DMT, mushrooms, I don't know, ayahuasca. Okay. Mystics seek esoteric knowledge, exploring hidden spiritual dimensions and transcending material existence to attain enlightenment or union with the divine. Mystical experiences are often ineffable, transcending ordinary language and perception. Okay, transcending ordinary language, that makes me think of light language. This may be a gift, skill that you have or will be developing. Okay, transcending ordinary language and perception. They involve heightened awareness, a sense of timelessness, and a feeling of merging with a greater whole. Such experiences are sometimes described as numinous, evoking awe, reverence, and a profound sense of the sacred. Mystics may also engage in practices like meditation, contemplation, or ritual to deepen their connection with the divine. We mentioned ritual, how you potentially have a daily sacred practice. Mysticism has appeared across cultures and religions, from Buddhism, Hinduism, and Taoism to Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Historical figures such as Rumi, Teresa of Avila, Meister Eckhart, and Ramana Maharshi exemplify the mystical path, demonstrating the universal pursuit of spiritual union and inner transformation. Ancient philosophers, including Plato and Aristotle, also explored extrasensory realities. Okay, ESP, now I'm thinking, extrasensory perception, highlighting the enduring human quest to understand dimensions beyond the physical. There's that word quest again. Okay. Embracing mysticism encourages individuals to trust their inner guidance, cultivate spiritual insight, and seek personal transformation. It offers a path to clarity, purpose, and fulfillment, helping navigate life's challenges while fostering a deeper connection with the sacred and the interconnectedness of all beings. In essence, the mystic spiritual meaning is about awakening to the divine within, transcending the ordinary, and experiencing the profound unity of existence. Whew. Wow. Any messages from the homemade deck, Spirit, for the collective? Trust in higher forces. Trust that you have a legion of high-frequency beings in the unseen realms assisting you, guiding you, supporting you. Trust in your powerful intuition. Trust in your inner wisdom. Okay. Trust in your significance, I'm getting. Trust in your significance. Okay. Trust. Okay, we have The Sound of Silence, a song by Simon and Garfunkel. And I think, was it in reading about the shaman? There was some shadow work, some releasing work that was mentioned. All right, The Sound of Silence, Hello Darkness, My Old Friend is the opening line, I believe. Yes, shadow work, befriending your shadow aspects. Visions and downloads received in dreams, and I think we mentioned that. I think I mentioned, because I saw these feathers making me think of the dream catcher and your dreams potentially receiving messages. Okay, visions, downloads received in dreams and in silence. So it potentially you may meditate. Okay. Okay. What else? Oh, interesting. Okay, strawberries. Okay, that makes me think, well, antioxidants, healing properties. Also, yes, so strawberries may be significant for someone. You may be seeing strawberries. That may be a synchronicity. Okay, of course, I'm going to look this up. Let's look up the significance of strawberries. Strawberry. Okay, I'm also getting bearing fruit. So that makes me think of what, the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Strawberries symbolize love, okay? Love, abundance, purity, and emotional healing. Okay, and we saw the sound of silence, shadow work, doing the inner work, releasing, transforming, alchemizing. Okay, that makes me think of the Three of Swords. Okay, strawberries symbolize love, abundance, purity, and emotional healing, making them powerful symbols in various spiritual practices. Strawberries are often associated with love and passion. Okay, love and passion. So that makes me think of, well, cups and wands energy due to their vibrant red color. Okay, red, root chakra. And sweet taste. They evoke feelings of warmth and affection, making them a popular symbol in romantic contexts. In many cultures, sharing strawberries is seen as an expression of care and connection. Okay, this makes me think that this is one of the meanings also, one of the significance of the strawberries card coming out is this is an expression of love. A loving hello from your spirit team is seen as an expression of care and connection, reinforcing bonds between individuals, but also between yourself and your legion of spiritual supporters in the unseen realms. Okay. Their heart-shaped form further emphasizes their connection to love and tenderness, abundance and fertility. Strawberries also represent abundance and fertility. Okay, fertility, so that makes me think of the Empress card. The numerous seeds on their surface symbolize the potential for growth. Okay, potential. Potential for growth and the bountiful harvest that life can offer. And we mentioned the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, harvest. And the bountiful harvest that life can offer. This connection encourages individuals to embrace the energy of abundance and to recognize the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Okay, so this is a reminder from Spirit to recognize the infinite possibilities that lie ahead on your path. In spiritual practices, strawberries can be used to manifest intentions related to prosperity and personal growth. So prosperity, that's also okay. We already mentioned cups and wands energy, but yeah, also pentacles energy. And yes, I did mention the root chakra, the color red, root chakra. So pentacles energy as well. Okay, so this makes me think of abundance in all forms. Bearing fruit in all forms. Okay. There's more, but we'll just stop there. Okay. So let's go to Tarot and let's see, because there's hint at love and passion as well, which certainly did not start off that way with the 3 starter cards. So potentially, if you are manifesting a loving partner, a loving life partner, this may happen unexpectedly. Okay. Which deck, Spirit? Which deck? Let's go to the Light Seers Pocket Tarot. And I think I saw, is it the High Priest at the bottom of the deck. Look at that. And when we were reading about the High Priestess, I believe the High Priest was also mentioned. Okay. You and your divine counterpart are manifesting each other. So potentially, if you have been seeing strawberries, noticing strawberries, or maybe soon after this reading, you start to notice strawberries, you and your counterpart may be communicating with each other telepathically through synchronicities. And seeing strawberries may be one of those signs or synchronicities from your counterpart, letting you know that they are thinking about you. Okay. What did you want to tell us about strawberries? Oh my goodness. Almost half an hour already. Wow, look at this. The Emperor. Okay, we did read about, well, the color red, and it made me think of the root chakra. Very grounded, stable energy. And that certainly is represented by the Emperor. And I mentioned the Empress, but we're seeing the masculine counterpart of the Empress, the Emperor. And yeah, he's wearing a red top. So the color red, passion, love. And seeing that large chess piece that the Emperor is holding in his hand makes me think of divine timing. Divine timing, divine orchestration. 6 of Swords. Okay, that makes me think of astral travel. I think I mentioned that earlier. And she is also wearing red. So yes, potentially you may be communicating with each other in your dreams. Maybe your higher selves are meeting in the astral. Also, I'm noticing that suitcase that she's holding in her hand. So you may be traveling or relocating. And it may be near a body of water. Also, black birds, crows, or ravens may be significant. The color black may be significant because we saw the black cat. Now we're seeing black birds. But also that makes me think of grounded energy. Two of Wands. Okay, that also makes me think of traveling. There's a globe here, a van, Perhaps you will meet your counterpart while you are traveling in the physical. Okay, the Chariot. More indications of traveling. And there's a black horse here. Okay. Let's move on. Any additional messages? Okay. We have the Five of Wands. Okay. That makes me think of the Sound of Silence, also the messaging when we're reading about the shaman, about releasing. I returned to the guidebook where we read about the shaman. Call back your power and stop allowing external forces to divert you. Okay, diversion. Okay. External forces, but I think I mentioned this may not only be external diversions, it may be probably the majority of any potential diversions that you may be experiencing are internal, arising from your ego, your fear-based ego. Yeah, okay, so let me go back. So call back your power and stop allowing external forces to divert you from the miracles you deserve. Hand over all of your concerns to your spiritual allies. Okay, there was a strong message of trust. Okay. High Priestess. Okay, if you had any doubts of just how intuitive you are, High Priestess, twice. Trust in higher forces, but also, yes, and I think I mentioned this already, trust in your intuitive abilities. Trust in your intuitive powers. So there may be some insecurity around your spiritual and psychic abilities. Four of Swords. This makes me think of, well, visions, downloads received in dreams and in silence. Receiving downloads, guidance, while in stillness, when you're at rest, but also just grounded in the present moment. So doing something that you enjoy. Reading something that you enjoy, reading about a topic that you're interested in, engaging in arts and crafts, something that engages you, engages your attention and focus in the present moment, where you're not distracted. And I'm noticing the red heart here. The color red may be quite significant. Look at this, love. Yep, love. Ace of Cups. Self-love. Being kind to yourself. Resting when you need it. when your body is calling for it. And love for spirit. And looking at the Sage card, be devoted and committed. You are devoted and committed to your relationship with spirit. Knight of Swords. Focus. Whenever I see the Knight of Swords in this deck, makes me think of focus, determination, focusing your energies on your desires. Energy grows where your focus goes. Okay, I'm noticing, is that a crossbow on his back? Bow and arrow. That makes me think of, yes, again, focus, but also precision. So now that makes me think of efficiency, just moving, taking efficient action. Being precise in your movements. Not moving just for the sake of moving, but when you're called to, when you feel inspired. And another blackbird. Noticing. So what would you like to add about the Knight of Swords? Knight of Swords. The Nine of Swords. Knight of Swords. Okay. So that makes me just think about what I was saying. Being mindful of where you're putting your attention, your energy. Where your focus goes, energy grows. And she is wearing red. Okay. Red is really sticking out. The color red. Okay, Knight of Cups. Red roses. Yep, and the Knight of Cups ended up under the Ace of Cups. So this is also a love reading. Not only love for self, love for spirit, but a romantic love. There may be fears around this. There may be fears, insecurities around starting a new relationship. Page of Cups. Okay. Love, love, love. All right. Confirmation. This person may have a very youthful energy. So you're going to have a lot of fun together, and it's going to be passionate. Knight of Wands. You may be musical. Your partner, the partner that you're manifesting, may be musical, musically talented. Or it may just be more symbolic when you join forces, so to speak, when you join your energies together, you may, quote, make music together. Maybe literally too. But because you're so aligned, yes, it will indeed feel very much harmonious. So there seems to be a musical theme here as well, because we have The Sound of Silence, the song by Simon and Garfunkel. So you also potentially may be communicating with your counterpart. Your spirit team also, the counterpart that you are manifesting in the physical, you may be communicating with each other via music lyrics. Messages are everywhere. Eight of Cups. That's the releasing energy that we read about in regards to the shaman. Okay. Yeah, releasing. Shadow work. This is the Devil card. Trust that you have spiritual allies. Eight of Swords. Your ego may feel trapped, but it's an illusion. Again, there's a message of, oh, and I just noticed more blackbirds. What I said at least a couple of times of where you put your attention, where you put your energy. So focusing your energy in the present moment, facing forward, remaining grounded in the present moment, instead of focusing your energy on the past. Page of Wands. Yeah, focus. Three of Swords. Okay, I mentioned the Three of Swords. Where your focus goes, energy grows. What would you like to say about the Three of Swords? Temperance. Your guardian angels are with you. You have spiritual allies. Trust in higher forces. Be committed and devoted to yourself, to your spiritual growth and journey. You don't have to hang on to the past. You don't have to continue to punish yourself. Spirit, Source, loves you unconditionally. Spirit doesn't judge you. You may judge you, but Spirit loves you unconditionally. And wants you to realize that there's so much for you than heartache. That is not your destiny to continue the cycle of suffering. It is not your destiny to spend this journey all alone. And give yourself credit for all the inner work that you have done. You are making progress despite what your ego may think. Your devotion and commitment to your growth has been recognized by Spirit, is always recognized by Spirit. This makes me think of your star family. Three of Cups. So now that makes me think of, well, the Three of Swords here, how she is screaming. So you may have called out for support, called out to your soul tribe. You have allies in the spiritual, in the unseen realms. But you're also manifesting not only the love of your life, but other members of your soul tribe. Okay, final message, please. Final message. It fell on the Three of Cups and the Emperor. Eight of Pentacles. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right path. If you're not seeing the fruits of your labor, trust. Trust. So what? I wrote down fertility, right? Fertility. Potential. Bearing fruit in all forms. Trust. Yes. Okay. I'm going. Look at this. Bottom of the deck. Empress. There you go. Yes. Trust. Trust. Okay. I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much. Take care.